Hello dear student, welcome to new session of current electricity. It's your 11th lecture. In last lecture we'll discuss about battery, that is combination of battery. Now we'll discuss special case of battery. So write down special cases of battery. Write down special cases of battery. Special cases of battery. So see my dear student, as I already tell you that batteries are combined in two different forms. I'm writing here special cases of battery. So first we'll discuss about series combination of battery. So write down first special case is for series combination of battery. Series combination of battery. Now see my dear student, we know that what actually series combination is. When batteries are connected end to end with each other, then the combination of batteries is said to be series combination. So see my dear student, let's suppose in series combination, case first is if n number of batteries are connected, in series having EMF E and internal resistance R. So my dear student, I am saying that let's suppose n number of batteries are there and all the batteries carry EMF E and internal resistance R, and the batteries are connected, let's suppose, in series. So we know that if the batteries are series combination, then the value of E net becomes equals to E1 plus E2 plus E3 up to so on, and the value of R net is R1 plus R2 plus R3 up to so on. So my dear students, see, I am saying that the total number of batteries is n and each battery carry EMF E and internal resistance R. So what actually in this case is, all the batteries carry same EMF and same internal resistance, and total number of batteries are n. So what actually I am talking that let's suppose n number of batteries are there and all the batteries carry same EMF, and we have n number of batteries like this. So we have n number of batteries and these batteries are connected with an external resistor. See my dear student, all the batteries carry same EMF E and same internal resistance R. So net EMF in series combination is E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus E4 up to En. So we'll write E net is equals to E plus E plus E up to n times, my dear students. So we can say net EMF must be Ne. Similarly, if I am talking about R net, so it is R plus R up to n times, dear student. So R net can be write as NR. So this is basically if batteries is of same EMF and they are connected in series, then we can say the value of E net is E plus E plus E plus E n times, that is Ne, and R net is R plus R plus R up to n times, that is NR. So this is all about first case. Moving forward, my dear student, case 2 is if, write down case 2, if polarity. This is very important case, my dear student, and quite logical. So try to understand what I am saying. I am saying, write down case B, if any one battery polarity is changes. If any one battery polarity is changes. So let's suppose I am saying that polarity of any one battery is changes. B case in series combination is if polarity, if polarity of any one battery, if polarity of any one battery changes, if polarity of any one battery changes. My dear student, look what I am saying. Let's suppose we have three batteries. Let's suppose we have three batteries. They are connected in series and all the batteries carry same EMF and same internal resistance. Let's suppose the EMF of battery is E and internal resistance is R. Let's suppose we have three batteries. All the batteries carry same EMF and same internal resistance. But here what I am doing, I am changing the polarity of any one battery. So let's suppose the second battery will connected like this. See, I'll change the polarity. I'll change the polarity and third battery remains same. It is plus minus E and R. So this is how I'm connecting the battery in series, and the case is if polarity of any one battery changes. So if you are aware, look at this diagram. In this diagram, this battery will change the polarity of this battery. So now what happened? If, see my dear student, this is very practical example. Let's suppose you have an electrical device which is operated with battery, and let's suppose one battery, the position of one battery, you are connecting one battery in wrong way. So here basically what I am doing, I'll change the polarity of one battery. We have three batteries, all the battery carry same EMF and all the batteries carry same internal resistance, that is E and R. See, if all the batteries are connected in right way and it is in series, so we know that in series combination E net is nothing but E1 plus E2 plus E3. So if each battery is of same potential, then we can write NE. N is number of battery, so we have three batteries, so 3E. This is the value of E net if all the batteries are connected in right way. If all the batteries are connected in right way, then E net becomes equals to 3E, my dear student. But here what I'll do, I'll make a mistake on the connection of one battery. I'll changes the battery polarity. Now let's check it out. What happened if one battery polarity is changing? So see my dear student, I am applying here Kirchhoff's law only for potential of the battery, or we can say only for EMF of the battery. Now see, I am moving from this point in this direction, my dear student. So I am moving from this point plus to minus, higher to lower potential, that is potential is decreasing, so we can write minus E. Next we are moving plus minus to plus. So minus to plus means I am moving from lower potential to higher potential, so my potential is increasing, so I'll write plus E. Now next, moving from plus to minus means higher potential to lower potential, potential is decreasing, so what I'll write minus E and it is equals to 0. See, actually I just want to confirm what will be the value of E net, that's why I am not taking IR for resistor. I am applying Kirchhoff's second law only for terminal of the battery, which is also called EMF of the battery. Plus to minus, minus E, minus to plus E, plus to minus E. So see my dear student, minus E and plus E get cancelled. So E net becomes equals to, dear student, E. See, check it out. If the polarity of this battery is in correct way, then the value of E net will be 3E. But if I am changing the polarity of one battery, my dear student, the value of E net becomes equals to EMF of one battery. See, actually if the polarity cannot be wrong, then the net EMF becomes equals to 3E. But now I am changing the polarity, so what we'll get, E net becomes equals to E. So if we'll understand, the correct answer is 3E. If all the batteries are connected in right way, then we'll get net EMF is equals to 3E. But I am changing the polarity of one battery, dear student. So if I'll change polarity of one battery, we'll get difference of two batteries EMF. We'll get difference of two batteries EMF. So I'll write here in form of note that if polarity of any one battery changes, then the difference in EMF, is equal to EMF of two batteries, because if this battery is connected in right way, then net EMF becomes equals to 3E. But now what we'll do, we'll change polarity of one battery, we'll get EMF is equals to one battery. So there is a difference in EMF of two battery, my dear student. So what we'll say? We'll say if polarity of any one battery changes in series combination, we will get instead of E net is equals to NE, there is a difference in two batteries EMF. So instead of N, we can write N minus 2 into E. So remember this thing, very important concept, my dear student. If the polarity of any one battery changes, then the difference in EMF will created equals to two batteries EMF. But see, internal resistance cannot changes. Internal resistance remains same. Right now still internal resistance is same, R plus R, or we can say NR, which is equals to 3R. So remember this thing, very important concept, my dear student. So this is all about special case in series combination. Now we'll discuss special case in parallel combination. So write down special cases in parallel combination of battery. Special case in parallel combination of battery. Special case in parallel combination of battery. Special case in parallel combination of battery. So now we are discussing special case in parallel combination. So the heading is parallel combination of battery. In last class, my dear student, we already discussed that the E net in parallel combination is E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2 plus E3 by R3 whole divided by 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. This is the value of E net when the batteries are connected parallel to each other. Similarly, the value of R net becomes equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 in parallel combination. Now see, if n number of batteries are connected in parallel to each other having EMF E and internal resistance R. So what I am saying? I am saying, let's suppose n number of batteries are connected in parallel. Each battery carries same EMF and same internal resistance. So what combination it forms like this? So this is our first battery, EMF E, internal resistance R, and n number of batteries are connected in parallel with each other having same EMF and same internal resistance, and the combination is connected with external resistor of resistance R. So we know that if the batteries are connected parallel to each other, having number of batteries n, then E net is equals to C, my dear student. It is according to this situation, because we are connecting n number of batteries having same EMF and same internal resistance. This is what basically, if you are operating any device with the help of battery, and in that device, let's suppose 5 batteries are connected. So my dear student, see, this is basically practical example that all the batteries carry same EMF and same internal resistance. There is no such device which is operated with different EMF and different internal resistance battery. So basically we are discussing in practical manner. So let's suppose n number of batteries are connected in parallel with each other, and each battery carry same EMF and same internal resistance. Let's suppose EMF is E and internal resistance is R. So E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2 plus E3 by R3 divided by 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. This is the formula of E net. Now see, we have all batteries are with same potential and same internal resistance. So according to our situation, it is E by R plus E by R plus E by R plus E by R n times E by R. So I'll write n E by R divided by 1 by R plus 1 by R plus 1 by R. It means n by R. So n by R. So n by R and n by R get cancelled. E net becomes equals to, my dear student, E, and this E is nothing but EMF of one battery. EMF of one battery. What this implies? This implies that if you are connecting n number of batteries having same EMF and same internal resistance, if you are connecting n number of batteries having same EMF and same internal resistance in parallel, you will get net EMF is equals to EMF of one battery. So let's suppose you are connecting 10 batteries, each battery carry 1 volt EMF and 1 ohm internal resistance. So basically in circuit only one battery is operating, rest 9 are useless. So my dear student, there is nothing, a potential here, there is nothing in potential to connect the batteries in parallel, because if you are connecting batteries in parallel, then net EMF is equals to EMF of one battery. So what I am saying that if you are connecting 10 batteries in parallel, only one battery is the part of circuit, rest all the batteries EMF is not the part of circuit. So 9 battery is useless. That's why parallel combination individually and series combination individually is not affected. In last class I already tell you, whatsoever the device is, if the device is operated with the help of battery, then the device basically must be in mixed combination, that is series as well as parallel. So my dear student, by that series combination can increase the EMF and parallel combination can decrease the resistance. Then only the batteries, or we can say then only the device is capable to give you the output. So remember, very important point, my dear student, if the device are operated with battery, then the device must be under mixed combination. This is all about cases of battery and detail of battery, dear students. So this is end here. This topic ends here, one part of this chapter. Now we'll move on another part of this chapter, that is electrical instrument. So write down electrical instrument. Electrical instrument. Write down next heading. It is electrical instrument. Electrical instrument. I am writing here the heading. It is electrical instruments. So in this chapter we'll discuss 4 different types of electrical instrument, my dear student. First is galvanometer. Galvanometer. Second is ammeter. Third is voltmeter, and fourth is potentiometer. Potentiometer. And remember, among all, this potentiometer is very important for your any kind of exam, board exam or NEET exam or JEE exam, my dear student. So in this chapter, we'll discuss 4 different types of electrical instrument which we'll use in different manner for different purpose. First is galvanometer, second is ammeter, third is voltmeter, and fourth is potentiometer. So write down: first galvanometer, second ammeter, third voltmeter, and fourth it is potentiometer. Now turn by turn we'll discuss each and every concerned topic related to all these electrical instruments. So write down first galvanometer. Write down first heading. Our first heading is galvanometer. Write down galvanometer. Galvanometer. Our first topic is galvanometer. So what actually galvanometer is, dear student? See, galvanometer is basically primary device. Because why we can say galvanometer as primary device? Because with the help of galvanometer we can make ammeter as well as voltmeter, dear student. So galvanometer is basically important instrument. So write down about galvanometer. So first thing about galvanometer is it is a device which is used only to detect with this. It is a device which is used only to detect the presence or absence of electric current in any electrical circuit. Write down: it is a device which is used only to detect the presence. Only detect, beta. Only detect. This is very important word, detect. Only used to, it is a device which is used only to detect the presence or absence of electric current in any electrical circuit. First thing about galvanometer is, see my dear student, galvanometer is not a measuring device. No, we cannot use galvanometer as measuring device. In next part of this lecture, we'll discuss why galvanometer is not a measuring device. Instead, it is only a detecting device. So remember, dear student, galvanometer is only used to detect either the current is present in circuit or not present in circuit. So galvanometer is not a measuring device. It is only a detecting device. With the help of galvanometer, we can detect in any circuit either current is present or not present. So write down next point: with the help of galvanometer. Write down: with the help of galvanometer. I'm writing here: with the help of galvanometer. With the help of galvanometer, we can only detect the current in any electrical circuit. Now I'll write next point, which is again very important. You have to remember this thing: galvanometer is not a current measuring device. It is only a current detecting device. So I am writing here third point. Galvanometer is not a current measuring device. Current measuring device. So remember this point, very important my dear student. Galvanometer is not a current measuring device. With the help of galvanometer, we can only detect either current is present in circuit or not present in circuit. That's it. Otherwise, we have to, make a new device for current measuring. So remember, galvanometer is not a current measuring device. It is a current detecting device. Next point is, galvanometer is always connected in series. Remember this thing beta, galvanometer is always connected in series. If you wish to detect the presence or absence of electric current in any electrical circuit, then you have to connect galvanometer in series, not in parallel. So see my dear student, I am now discussing about why galvanometer is not used as current measuring device. So write down in format of question, write down question, why galvanometer is not used, as current measuring device. Why galvanometer is not used as current measuring device? Write down question, why galvanometer is not used as current measuring device. I am writing here, why galvanometer can not use as current measuring device. Why galvanometer cannot use as a current measuring device? See my dear student, why actually now we'll discuss why galvanometer is not used as current measuring device, why it is used only as current detecting device. See my dear student, as galvanometer is an electrical instrument and every electrical instrument carry its own resistance. I am repeating once again, galvanometer is an electrical instrument which carry, and every electrical instrument, not only galvanometer, whatsoever the electrical instrument is, every electrical instrument carry some own resistance. So my dear student, I am writing here, as galvanometer is an electrical instrument, hence it carry its own resistance. So every, my dear student, not only galvanometer, every electrical instrument has its own resistance. So we have galvanometer, which is an electrical device. So what we'll say that galvanometer is an electrical device, so it also have some resistance. So what say, let's suppose the galvanometer resistance what I am considering is G. So I'll write here, let the resistance of galvanometer is considered to be, dear student, G. Now see, let's suppose we have a circuit in which a resistor is there of resistance R and in this circuit battery is there. Let's suppose the potential of battery is V. Now see what I'll make a simple circuit in which one resistor is there and the resistor is connected with a battery whose potential is V volt. Now my dear student, as we know, resistor can draw some current from battery. So let's suppose I current is drawn by the resistor from the battery. So let's suppose I current is drawn by this resistor from the battery. Now we know that by Ohm's law V is equals to IR, so I is equals to V by R. Just try to understand my dear student, because instrumental physics is quite complicated, interesting as well as very important. So try to understand each and every process what I'll performing in this lecture. So my dear student, I have a circuit in which a resistor is there and this resistor is connected with a battery whose potential is V volt. So what we'll do, I current is drawn by this resistor from this battery. So the value of I is nothing but V by R. So what we'll say in this circuit in which a battery and a resistor is present, the resistance of resistor is R and the potential of battery is V. This resistor can draw I current from this battery and the value of current by Ohm's law is V is equals to IR. So we'll say in this circuit in which R resistor and V volt battery is present, in this circuit I, which is equals to V by R, this amount of current is flowing in this circuit. So I'll write here V by R, amount of current is flowing in the given circuit. V by R, amount of current is flowing in the given circuit. Now my dear student, let's